McLaren Trophy North America makes its debut today here at Road America, a venue at which the McLaren brand has a rich history. From Can-Am to IndyCar to GT racing, the names Road America and McLaren go hand in hand. Bruce McLaren himself won here in his 1969 Can-Am Championship winning season, and his legacy continues today at America's National Park of Speed. Cloudy skies overhead, the threat of rain looms on the horizon, but for now it remains dry. The grid of 15 cars getting set to go for the next round of the championship. My name is Ryan Marine. Tom Baker will be along shortly. It is DJ Clark who will have the interview with our winner at the end of today's race. As you look at the conditions here, those clouds certainly a storyline as we get ready to go at Road America, with the rain possibly on the horizon, something we can talk about as we go throughout the course of the day. DJ Clark, though, as mentioned, is down on the grid, and we'll turn him loose to chat with some of the protagonists here in McLaren Trophy North America.
Well, as you said, Ryan, it's starting to look a little bit threatening in the skies, but I'll tell you what else is threatening. That is these McLaren Artura Trophy cars. They look fantastic. I mean, just look at this. This is the Race for RP machine that we've got here with Langberg and Madsen. Beautiful, beautiful car. And if you do not know about Race for RP, I highly recommend you to check it out. It's relapsing polychondritis. Check it out, raising money for that. But we're going to come over here with our friends from the series. Now, I got to ask you, what's it like to drive one of these cars around Road America? Because it is so incredibly fast, and with the push-to-pass, it's got to be crazy.
It's unbelievable, man. Being able to drive a lot of track in the U.S. Now coming to Road America is one of the most iconic, amazing track. 4 miles of like high speed every corner. You know, you're getting about 110 miles per hour average on this track. So think about it. Your average speed is about 110. It's an incredible, the facility, the people that support the track, and the drivers, the community, the McLaren Trophy Series, SRO. It's been great. It's been a blessing. You know, I can't say much. It's just, I'm in heaven. You know, the reality, I'm in heaven. It's incredible.
Well, I think Paul Newman called VIR heaven on earth, but we may have to change that for you here. But with these McLaren trophies, we mentioned a little bit of the push to pass. How strategic do you have to be in deploying that, especially around a circuit like Road America, where you've got these long straights, where I've got to imagine it's pretty easy to, for lack of a better term, abuse the push to pass?
Right. So because of the long straightaways and the average speed, you got to be really strategic, because if you use it a lot, you're gonna drain the push to pass. So you really got to be consistent, and if you have somebody in front of you, you know, you got to be really strategic to be able to use it, to be able to use that push to pass, and also save a little bit for the other driver, for the second driver. Because if you don't leave at least a few seconds of that push to pass, it might hurt your second driver as well. So you got to be consistent and make sure that you're using it in the right spot.
There's so much strategy that goes into a race, so we're going to let you go. Thank you so much, Jason. Good to see you, buddy. We're going to keep walking up and down the grid here. As you can see, now this is one of my all-time favorite cars. This is Kreutz and O'Connell on the side of it. Flying Lizard, a brand that we know so very well, but with the teal and the purple, this thing pops so incredibly. We're very happy to have them in here, and you can see they're all strapped in. And look at that display. The heads-up display there just kind of popping up like that. A really advanced car in the way that these run. All right, let's keep going up the grid a little bit more. We've got 2 of the Pro-Am entries up ahead of us. Drivers getting ready to strap on in. I see a couple of drivers that I do want to particularly talk to if I can. If I can get Mr. Eric Filgaris over here. And oh my goodness, we've got everybody lining around. Oh, it's a party to talk to. Eric, you've driven here in so many different machines. How special is it to be able to drive here in this McLaren Artura?
Yeah, DJ, the McLaren Artura GT4 Evo package that we run in the McLaren Trophy Series is really special. It's about 600 horsepower, really fast car. I mean, we're very close to GT3 time. So it's been really exciting. Places like the Carousel, the Kink, super high commitment, turn 7. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know what's going to happen with the weather today, but Tom, my co-driver, has been doing really great this weekend, qualified 3rd in class, and hopefully we can move up a couple more steps on the podium and see if we can get on the top step.
How much are you starting to look at the championship standings as time goes along? Here we are coming to the end of the season. I've got to ask the obligatory question. I know it's race by race, but do you start doing some math?
Yeah, I think a little bit. We're currently 4th in the points. We're trying to get up to 3rd. We'd love to get up to a higher place than that, but I think it is race by race. Anything can happen. As we're seeing, we may have a dry race, we may have a wet race. It could totally flip things upside down. So the good thing is it's been exciting. With a 10-race series, you just can't slip up and have a bad race. And so we're trying to overcome a couple of early snags in the system that we've had, but I think that we can do it.
All right, Eric Filgaris will let you get to it and let you get locked in. Thank you so much.
Thanks, DJ.
All right, that's Eric Filgaris. You can see right there, that is his teammate that is getting ready, Tom Kopczynski, getting ready to strap on into the car. We're going to keep coming around here. Orlando Motorsport Services, this is another one of the great machines that we have out here. Bob Stockard and Robbie Stockard behind the wheel of this machine. Looking up a little bit further, we're starting to see some more drivers getting strapped in. This is that I highlight. This is Tech Sport Racing. This is one of the mainstays in the SRO Motorsports Group America paddock, and to have them in here it really means a lot. Colin Harrison right here getting in. I'm not going to let you. Do you need to get in? Or okay, that's what I figured. I saw you reaching for the helmet. That's Colin right there. He's getting ready. We don't want to mess with them when they're getting into race prep a little bit, but it's great to see Tech Sport, like we said, one of the long and storied teams in this paddock joining in McLaren. We're very, very happy to have them on board. We're going to keep going here. Oh, I love this car. I love this car so much. This is Jesse Lazari and Alex Painter. Jesse, how you doing? You doing well? And what are we thinking today?
Excited to race. You know, the conditions are going to be fun. Anything could happen. Hopefully the lightning stays away so we could race, but this is really this is anyone's race in conditions like this, but I'm sure Motorsports and Action gave us the best McLaren to go win this thing, and so I'm really excited.
Well, I want to ask you a little bit about the color change on the car, because you didn't start with this gold, but this has been the talk of the paddock because it is so pretty.
Yeah, honestly, at first it was shocking because you don't really see a gold car, but now I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm really, really obsessed. Every time I see it, it gets nicer and nicer. So hopefully it gives us a couple tenths too, and we go fly right now.
Well, you've got a little bit of the Go Fast stripes, and that's always for a little bit of that. So just they're talking. Alex, if you need to, as she gets ready. Going to keep looking back on the grid here as things go along. Like we said, drivers starting to get strapped in. But let's take a look at this McLaren Trophy machine that we see. It's got the patented McLaren doors. You know those so well. One of the things that we love to see in the series. Does make driver changes a little bit interesting as they come up, but plenty of aerodynamics on this car. I mean, look at the air scoops here. Every bit of this car is designed with that aerodynamic handling in mind. They're really, really well done in that way. And then we look here in the front seat, and this may be built on a McLaren Artura that you can see on the road, but they certainly make it to be a full race car. You can see all of the chill-out systems. Now, that's very crucial. It was very crucial, especially last time out in VIR. Those chill-out systems that pumps cold water through the driver's suits to make sure that their core temperature stays nice and cool. All right, we're going to keep going along here. Going to talk over with Hooper Street Racing. Can we grab you, Bob, real quick? Can we grab you on camera? Awesome. Here we are, of course, with Bob Stockard. I want to talk about racing with some family. What's that like?
Unbelievable. Very lucky to do it. Really happy.
Do you have any family dynamics, family jokes, family ribbing if somebody's a little bit faster than the other one?
We know who's faster. There's no doubt about that. I'm the tortoise and the hare, right? He's the hare and I'm the tortoise, so he's doing well.
Well, if I remember that story, it's the tortoise that wins at the end of the day.
Let's hope that's not the case.
All right, that's Bob Stockard. We'll let you get to it as he gets ready to go. Another beautiful one of these McLarens. And let's take a look at the back of the cars as well, because you can see, once again, we were talking about all the aerodynamics that are filtered back here to everything, and it comes back. This wing specifically designed to maximize rear downforce in the car as they get ready to be able to get everything they can out of it. And why that is so important, you heard earlier Jason Guzman talking about the rear or the push-to-pass system and the speed that we're able to generate in these cars. You've got to have that rear wing to push it into the ground as much as possible and make sure that everything is able to work. But these beautiful sculpted cars, as we said, about ready to head out onto the track, and I gotta tell you, if you've never seen these things race before, they are incredible. So, Ryan, I'm going to throw it back up to you, my friend. It's been great to catch up with everybody, and we're all ready to go.
Thanks for doing the heavy lifting there, DJ. We really appreciate it. And great to see some of the faces that will be competing in the race here today. Engines firing up now down on the pit lane, and the grid about ready to roll for the first of 2 races here this weekend on a muggy weekend, muggy day here in central Wisconsin. Pleased to welcome Tom Baker back onto the broadcast once again. You were just down there on the grid, had to hustle it up here to join us on the broadcast. I know it's your first trip to Road America. Your impressions of this wonderful place?
It's fantastic. I want to come back again next year. It's brilliant.
Sounds like a plan.
Fantastic circuit. All the drivers are loving it. With this car, it just seems to suit really well. Fast-flowing track, beautiful location. What more could you want?
Absolutely nothing. It is just about perfection. Heard Jason Guzman call it heaven, and hard to argue with him as the cars roll out onto the racetrack for the first and only formation lap, getting ready to go for the race. And we'll take a look at the grid in just a moment, but some of the storylines, Tom, that you've got your eyes on coming into the weekend.
Yeah, I guess the surprise of qualifying, not necessarily the weekend, was our new entry, Tanner Harvey and Patrick Liddy. They've qualified on pole in Pro-Am. And yeah, they're certainly going to be one to watch, I think.
Yeah, that'll be a story to cover as we look at our various class pole sitters. We'll cover those as we get to the starting grid here in just a moment. But on the overall pole, once more, it's Tommy Pintos, who's been something of a qualifying maestro so far this season. Still, though, looking for a breakthrough win. He'll lead the field to green here today. Jeff Cook alongside the AM class pole sitter, starting on the outside of the front row. Then back on row number 2, Casey Dennis. What a run of form he's been in here recently. He'll start in the 3rd overall starting position, 2nd in the pro class, next to James Sophonis, 2nd fastest of the AM class entrants. Tanner Harvey, that impressive newcomer Tom introduced just a moment ago, will start in 5th. Alexandra Hayner, what a strong season she's had, currently set to line up in 6th. Then Colin Harrison back in row 4, shares that row with Steven Sorbero from OMS. Row number 5, Robbie Stockard. We heard from his dad, Bob. Welcome back to Robbie after having to miss the last round of the season, but he is back here. Tom Kopczynski alongside in the 10th overall starting position. John Dempsey, a big surprise to see him down in 11th. He's been really strong as of late. Scott Sorbero lining up there in the 12th position. Brendan Kreutz back in 13th, with Chris likewise back in the 14th starting position here today. And Neil Langberg was set to roll off in the 15th spot, alone in row 8. Didn't see him on the graphic, but hopefully he is set to take the green. And indeed, there is the car. We did see it on the grid, didn't we? So that is good news. Neil and Kevin Madsen have been quick at times all season long. Well, that's how they'll line up. Good consistency in the grid, weekend to weekend. It's been a good weekend so far. However, interesting, windshield wipers on the safety car just a moment ago. You were down on the grid. Did you get any moisture on your way up?
There was 1 or 2 spots. I brought my raincoat just in case. I know I'm sitting inside, so it's kind of pointless. But I thought if I bring it, then there's a good chance the rain won't come. So I'm kind of praying that we have a nice, straightforward race. However, it's threatening.
It is. Radar does not look particularly optimistic if you're hoping for a dry race, but that said, this place can be a lot of fun in the wet, as now some windshield wipers start to go on the race cars too. We'll keep our eyes on the skies. DJ will let us know if the downpour begins there on the pit lane. But here comes the field up the hill, getting ready to go for the first of 2 races here this weekend. It is Tommy Pintos who leads the field to green. Spanish driver, champion of the European McLaren Trophy Championship. He's got Cook alongside Casey Dennis and James Sophonis making up row number 2. We're getting reports, though, of some lightning in the area, so our camera operators, for their safety, have been asked to come down from their stands. We'll do our best to cover this action for you as the field goes to green. Pintos able to cover off from the lead of the race, taking the pole position and solidifying it. But look at this, big move here in the early going. That red car, that is Dennis, up a couple of positions already. He's up to the 2nd spot. Field trying to get sorted single file down the hill through turn 3, and now that long run under the Sargento Bridge down to turn 5. Heavy braking zone downhill, one of the great passing opportunities around this racetrack.
Yeah, Tommy Pintos has dropped back to 5th, so he did not have a good start at all.
Yeah, apologies, misspoke on that one. So not sure what happened to the pole sitter, but he has dropped back. That's promoted Cook to the lead. Then Dennis, Safronis, Harvey runs in the 4th spot. Pintos in 5th, trying to gather it back up. There's a look at the number 919 that is dropped back into 5th in line, putting pressure on the newcomer Harvey, but it hasn't been easy for him. Harvey, an impressive young man, taking really well to this championship in this car.
Yeah, Tanner's done relatively a small amount of racing. He's raced a few radical races and things like that. Done a lot of Baja stuff, as I understand it. But this is sort of his first proper race. So yeah, he's excelling so far, I think.
Yeah, has done quite a bit in radicals. Finished 5th in the World Finals back in 2022, but stepping into the challenge that is McLaren Trophy America and doing a nice job in the 4th position. Battles into the kink here, everyone getting sorted single file, and you really need to. That's not a part of the track where you want to be side by side if you can help it. Cook leads Dennis by half a second in the run down to Canada Corner. Cars pulling out of line, and I think was that Pintos trying to get one of those spots back. We'll check on it in just a moment, but we see Hayner coming through. She's dropped to 6th, and the fight behind is a pretty fierce one as well.
Yeah, John Dempsey's doing a good job of coming through the field at the moment. He's just up behind Robbie Stockard there, so I think it's him that we're seeing coming through. Alex is holding station there in 6th.
Good spot. Good to see Dempsey making his way through the field. Had a difficult qualifying, didn't have a chance to debrief and figure out exactly why, but he'll be a hard charger here as the race gets underway. Cook's lead at the line, just under a second over Dennis. Safronis with a nice solid start, runs in 3rd, leading, make that 2nd in the AM class. Harvey leads in Pro-Am right now, holding down the 4th position. Good to see Forte Racing putting that entry on the grid, and Patrick Liddy, his co-driver, has been super quick all weekend long as well.
Yeah, James is under a bit of pressure there, I think, in 3rd place from Fontana and Tommy close behind. There's only a couple of tenths a second between the 3 of them, so I think they're going to be trying to find their way forward.
Yep, Safronis solidly 3rd overall, but you're right, was momentarily under some pressure. Now it's Harvey trying to fend off the challenge from Tommy Pintos, who was the pole sitter but has dropped back. Still looking for that first win this season. They've been quick.
There he is, up the inside.
That's down through Hurry Downs. Good passing opportunity there, leading to the carousel. Who comes out in front? It is Tommy Pintos. So back up to 4th overall, able to put the move on the newcomer Harvey, who nevertheless continues to lead in his class. Oh, this is a bold move.
Oh, there we go. It's the move for the lead.
Sure enough, Casey Dennis to the inside of Cook. And they come out on the other side of the kink with an all mixed up running order. Is that Safronis who ended up out in front of this pack? Wow. Now Pintos charging once again, weaving left, weaving right, trying to find a path around up into the 2nd spot. He's able to get around Dennis and does take that spot away.
So that's a lead change in Pro class, but it looks like Jeff Cook's had some issues. He's dropped right back from the lead then. He's now in 5th and struggling to maintain pace.
Very surprising. Car off the pace further back as well.
That's Jeff. Yep.
Yep, there you go. So something amiss evidently with the erstwhile race leader. That is a big hit for them. Limped his way back to the pit lane, and hopefully it's something that can be rectified, at least get back out on track and turn some meaningful laps here today ahead of another race tomorrow.
What's the reverse of the commentator's curse? There's me saying that James is being hunted down by Tommy and Tanner, and somehow he's managed up to lead the race.
Now Cook and Dennis Tillman coming in 3rd in points, winners of race 1 at VIR. A couple of podiums this year in their class, but it seems to have gone awry for them here this day in Wisconsin.
Tommy's making a move for the lead on James there. They were both, oh, he's done it, there we go, up the inside of turn 5.
Great move by Tommy Pintos to recover. So whatever happened on that first lap, didn't take too long for Tommy to recover. Puts the pass on Safronis. That's not a battle for class position, so James wasn't keen on putting up too big of a fight, and he's got a nice gap back to the next car in his class, which is Colin Harrison down in 6th overall.
Yeah, it was a good move by Tommy there, and a car between him and class rival Casey Dennis. So they're owed a win, those guys. They've been on the cusp for a long time, and they've had a number of second places, but they've yet to get the win this year.
Yeah.
If they can do that, they owed it, I think. They've done very well, but it'll close up the championship battle as well, which will make it all the more interesting.
Cook out of the car, exchanging hugs with the crew members. That's never a good sign. Looks like the day might be done early for Cook and for Dennis Tillman, who likely won't get a chance to take part in the festivities here today. Pintos leads. James Sophonis is second, but leads in the M class. Casey Dennis sits there in 3rd in the Lightning McLaren liveried machine, that red car that's now starting to put some pressure on James Sophonis for 2nd overall, and this would be big for him to try and get around the out-of-class car and maybe be able to reel in Pintos to fight for the pro class lead. Further back, Hayner and Harrison fighting, with Robbie Stockhart also in that camera shot. They come waiting on that group to come up the hill.
Using the push to pass button there with the flashing lights.
That's right. So you look at those headlights when they start to flash like that. That's indicative that the push to pass is active. It's a sizable boost in power, roughly 40-50 horsepower added at their discretion, but it's a limited account that they can go to, and you can debit from it as early and often as you'd like, but if it runs out, then that leaves you with a whole lot to fight back with late in this race.
Exactly, you've got to choose when to use it, and bear in mind it's a 50-minute race, and you've got to leave something for your teammate as well.
Yeah, that's right, for these multi-car, or multi-driver lineups, I should say. Got a brief glimpse of that speed zone sign that is the live speed trap in the run down to turn 5, and these McLaren trophies, the Artura Trophy Evo, up over 160 miles per hour. That is hauling the mail, and they'll reach that speed a couple of different places here at Road America with 3 long full throttle sections on each given lap.
Yeah, well, this year is the first year for Trophy America, but it's the first year for the Evo version of the car as well, which is a good step up from the original Trophy car, which was launched in 2022. And performance-wise, it's considerably closer to GT3 than it is GT4, so yeah, it's good to see them right up there in the speed traps.
Well, it was on display, wasn't it, earlier this year at the Nürburgring 24, where one of these Artura Trophy Evos won its class at the Nürburgring, and to your point, it had the fastest trap speed of any car in that race, and that includes the GT3 cars. Speaking of fast times, how about Sector 2 on our Race Vision powered by AWS? Tommy Pintos the quickest through the middle sector, and by a healthy margin. Casey Dennis, the car we're watching right here, middle of the shot, red machine, 2nd fastest. Then Harvey, Sophonis, and Cook, and that must have come early in the race, because on just the 2nd lap that car was forced to pull into the pit lane. Late lunge. Further back in the pack is that Dempsey, I think it was, taking a peek on Harrison.
I think that was Robbie Stockhart actually just moving in front to take 2nd place in the M class. So Robbie's back with us for this weekend. He missed VIR because he was taking the bar exam, and so it's his first time back in the car since COTA, and hasn't done much mileage. Hasn't had a chance to do some testing, but he's clearly enjoying racing here.
Yeah, and he's got Harrison behind him, Dempsey there too, who was, it looked like, taking a look. Tom Kopczynski in a fight with one of the Sorberos. He's sandwiched in Sorberos, or he was momentarily, just was able to make his way up around the 49 car and take the 9th position.
Yeah, so that was Steve Sorbero, father of Scott, who is now behind him in the 94 car. So Scott's making his debut in the championship this weekend. Has done a little bit of racing in the M2 Cup Club Championships for the past few years, but he got his license 2 days ago. He was telling me the other day. So this is his first proper race, and I must say he's acquitting himself well. He's close to the pace of his dad. Mindful not to beat Dad too much as well, which is always probably a good thing to do.
Oh, big moment there as Sophonis goes wide. That opens up a door on the inside, and Harvey is up and through now. Safronis dropping back a little bit. Did see windshield wipers on a couple of these cars again too, so maybe at sections of the track at least the rain is starting to come down. It's a tough thing though, and a track this big, it can be raining for half the lap and be bone dry on the other half, and you just have to adapt, and it might be totally different by the time you come around the next time.
Exactly, it's going to keep the drivers guessing. They're going to have their wits about them. But Tommy Pintos has managed to gain, build a good lead over 5 seconds now, but he needs to do that to protect it by the time they come for the pit stops and handing over. But we've got a full course yellow.
No indication as of yet what this might be for. We do see again more cars running the windshield wipers, so perhaps there's a connection there. That wipes away that big lead you were just talking about for Tommy Pintos. This is not a welcome sight for him.
He's not going to want to talk to me after this, is he?
No. You know, for not having done this very much, you're already really good at
annoying a lot of people.
Well, I wasn't going to put it quite that way, but making your impact felt, let's say.
Thank you.
Yes. So field behind the safety car, and again, look at the windshield wipers on both the front-running cars, Pintos and Dennis. That closes those top two in the Pro class back together. Harvey leads in Pro-Am, Safronis the leader in M. We are told the full course yellow is for weather. Exactly if that's due to just rain or maybe some presence of lightning in the area remains to be seen. We'll pass that information along to you when we have it, but as you can see, the crews do have their wet weather tires up on the wall. And this is not a championship, although it does include a pit stop. That it does not typically involve a tire change unless there's a puncture or something like that. So it would make sense if the feeling was it was going to be shifting to a wet weather race to neutralize the field and take away any competitive aspect of the pit stop. That's really not something that's built into the rules of the championship.
No, exactly, and you know, we are limited to one pit stop, and there is a window for that pit stop. It differs slightly per class, but usually between 20 and 30 minutes. So anything outside of that pit stop, unless it is for weather, is a technical thing. You know, you can't come in, and there's no advantage to be gained from pitting and changing drivers early.
Yeah, so this comes too early for that window to affect any of these teams. And I do clearly see some heavy rain in that camera shot. So I think that that is the answer to the mystery. That's the Skip Barber Racing team trying to figure out how best to play this. A lot of coaching to be done with their drivers, some of which are not all that experienced necessarily in these kind of changeable conditions. And to be out there on the slicks like this, where the track is changing corner to corner, minute to minute almost, it needs to be handled cautiously. Crews getting ready to maybe make those tire changes. We'll see how exactly the stewards elect to make this change happen. A lot of communication going on right now. Those radios are lighting up as drivers are informed of the conditions around the track and what the plan is going to be moving forward, with 35 minutes, 38 seconds still to go. There's James Lee, smile on his face. Maybe a little consternation under the surface as well. His teammate Casey Dennis runs second. Saw the two of them, though, at the parade on Thursday, and they were hamming it up for the cameras. Their Lightning McLaren paint scheme was awfully popular with the fans that came out to Elkhart Lake.
I don't think that was really in any doubt. It's a great colour scheme, isn't it? But yeah, great to see the children enjoying seeing a full-size version.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, the parade was really fantastic. We've done the parade in Europe with Spa 24 on a number of years, and that's always a great occasion, driving the cars down into Spa Town with a huge crowd for that. But it's the same atmosphere here for this. It's a slightly smaller scale, but great to be able to go down with the cars and meet the fans and see them enjoying the cars in a really nice, relaxed atmosphere. So it all helps add to the fun nature of this event.
The parade here was unabashedly modeled off of that parade at Spa. Why not copy the idea if it's a good one? And the fans here have responded in a big way. There's so much history of motorsport as well, not just at this racetrack, but in this area. You think about the village of Elkhart Lake and the fact that road racing started on the streets through the town and then onto the country roads around the town, going back to the midway point of the 20th century. Ultimately, the racing outgrew the city streets a little bit, and Cliff Tufte dreamed up this place, which opened in 1955. But that's a town that embraces its position as one of the hotbeds of road racing in North America, despite its rather small size.
Yeah, it was great. We went down, took all the cars, and we actually had a few messages on social media from residents saying thanks for coming down and making such a nice event of it, which was actually really pleasant to hear.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and the community really embraces it, like I said, with such a history here, and it's really helped to put the city, the town, on the map.
Stuck in here for a while. If it does start to.
But as I mentioned, this place opened in 1955, situated on 640 acres here in the Kettle Moraine Scenic Drive area of Wisconsin. The landscape, the flowing nature of the track, the rolling hills, it was all shaped by glaciers at the end of the last ice age. The glaciers receding left you with what the people who know a lot about geography call the kettles and the moraines, basically the hills and the valleys that are in this area, and it makes for a beautiful location to go racing as the red flag is out now, neutralizing this race. And again, this could just be about making that tire change in a non-competitive type of situation, or there is the threat of lightning in the area, so not sure which one it is. And now I am told, yes, there is lightning in the area that will bring a halt to the proceedings here, which is a shame, but safety first. Tom, as you know, McLaren puts so much of an emphasis on safety when designing its race cars. The same is true with how SRO goes racing. If there's lightning in the area, you want to make sure that everyone at the racetrack is safe and accounted for. And so with that in mind, the racing, at least for now, will be put to a brief halt.
Well, you never can be too careful, so to err on the side of caution in these occasions, so absolutely the right call.
Gives us a chance to wax poetic about Road America again, which I always like to do. Love coming to this place. I think my first time here would have been 2008 or 9 to do a little driving myself, and then coming to watch and cover everything from sports cars to Indy cars. This place has great history with two-wheel motorsport. NASCAR has raced here as well over the years, and in fact, for a long time, there was a nice piece of NASCAR trivia that the only foreign-made manufacturer to ever win a NASCAR Cup Series race happened here in the 1950s when a different British brand, let's say, driven by Paul Goldsmith, won a NASCAR race, and subsequently, Toyota has come in and that record has gone out the doors, but that's a piece of trivia that I think a lot of folks would be curious to learn. Field making their way down to the pit lane once again, and now we'll just have to wait for the weather to clear the area.
How many more facts about Elkhart Lake have you got then?
Oh, I got plenty of more facts about Elkhart Lake. What else do we want to know? The first race ever held here was September 10th and 11th, 1955. Sherwood Johnson and Phil Hill battled to the finish, and it was a photo finish in that first ever race, so set the standard nicely for what was to come. I mentioned Cliff Tufte earlier. He's the one who dreamed this up, purchased and developed this land that was originally owned by the Elkhart Lake Sand and Gravel Company. The development started in the early 1950s. Cliff, a racer himself, but also a trained civil engineer. So not only was it his idea, but he did a lot of the design work on this track layout too, which notably has basically gone unchanged from the very beginning, which I think is a sign that maybe he did something right.
He definitely got it right. I think this is it's a fantastic place, and yeah, talking to the drivers, they're all loving it. Fast-flowing track, just superb. And I took the chance to drive round on Friday. Sorry, Thursday actually, and go around the perimeter roads just to get an eye and see what's what. There's some incredible wood sculptors around the track. So you've either got some very talented wood craftspeople around here, or some very talented squirrels or something like that.
Yeah, the wildlife, right.
Exactly. But yeah, you've got eagles and bears and all these kind of things carved out, and it's you just turn around a corner and you've got a great view of the track and some architecture and sculptures to enjoy.
Yeah, that is the amazing thing of the place. You turn up and something is new and improved each time you come. The place is kept in top-notch condition all year round. And yeah, there's plenty to soak in for the motorsport enthusiast. We are under the red flag, though. Unfortunately, we have lightning in the area, which has necessitated this red flag. Tommy Pintos shown as the race leader when the red flag came out. Casey Dennis runs second as well in the pro class. Then the newcomer, Tanner Harvey, in the third position from Forte Racing. Excited to see Patrick Liddy behind the wheel of that car, hopefully later in this race, and at the very least looking ahead to Race 2 tomorrow. He's been really quick and has a rich history with the Forte team in various other series prior to debuting in McLaren Trophy this weekend. M-Class leader is James Safronis, who holds the 4th spot in the overall order. Alexandra Hayner, 5th overall, 2nd in Pro-Am. Continuing a strong run of form for the Motorsport in Action team. Then it's Robbie Stockard, currently 2nd in AM, 6th overall. Harrison, 3rd in AM, 7th overall. Dempsey starting to recover after a poor qualifying result. Tom Kopczynski, 4th in the Pro-Am class, in 9th. And then Sorbero, father and son, 10th and 11th. Kreutz, likewise Langberg, the rest of the cars that are still running. And poor Jeff Cook had an issue in the first couple of laps and had to head to the pit lane, and that's where he's been ever since. Disappointing start to the weekend for the Dark Horse Racing duo. Well, Tom, we talk about the great tracks on the schedule, and you've got to see some of these for the first time here this year. Still to come, of course. The season's not complete until we make the trip to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in October. And I mentioned at the start of this show, this is a track with great McLaren history. Bruce McLaren himself raced here, won a Can-Am race here in 1969. Indianapolis, too, a place synonymous in with McLaren and rich in McLaren lore.
Exactly. I mean, we are the only manufacturer to have the Triple Crown, which is I believe the 73 Indy 500, the 84 Monaco Grand Prix, and of course the 95 Le Mans 24. So yeah, we are really looking forward to going to Indy to finish the season. I think it's going to be a cracker. We're looking at the championship battles at the moment. We're not going to have any of them decided this weekend, unless there are some very strange happenings. But we'll wait and see on that. But yeah, all the battles are very close, and we're hoping to head to Indy and be able to crown the champions there.
Well, it'll be a great sight for it, that's for sure. So much history there, and of course, my hometown, so awfully proud to show it off when SRO comes to town each October. And also there, of course, will be the headline event, if you will, the Indy 8 Hour. Great to have the McLaren Trophy Series on the bill there, as they are at so many of the big SRO races here and as well in Europe. But the other good news for you is the museum at the Speedway has been refurbished and just reopened earlier this year, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you like your motorsport history of all stripes, it's not just an Indy 500 museum. It is a across-the-board motorsport museum. So I hope you carve out a little bit of time to go take a visit.
I think it would be foolish not to go and see it. So yeah, that's definitely in the plan to go and soak in some history of Indy and everything else. As you say, it's going to be a fun way to end the season, I think.
Definitely so. The cars have made their way back to the paddock. and we're waiting for official confirmation of how exactly this race is going to be ended, but it does appear that a checker flag has been shown. The reason that this race appears unlikely to restart is, as mentioned, there are plenty of safety protocols in place about lightning in the area. And here in North America, as is standard, if there is a lightning strike within a certain radius, it's a mandatory 30-minute hold. There were fewer than 30 minutes remaining when the last lightning strike was noticed on the radar, and so it does not look like this race will be able to be resumed, at least not today. So exactly how this will transpire later on, if anything gets made up or half points are awarded, things like that, that's all an element that needs to be sifted through before it's all said and done. But definitely disappointing, because we were off to a really strong start, weren't we? And you could tell these cars and this track really fit together nicely.
Yeah, exactly. It was shaping up quite nicely. We had some good battles there, and we hadn't quite got to the pit stop window yet, and we had the second drivers to take over. So, yeah, hopefully we'll have a full race tomorrow, and no weather to get in the way, or at least consistent weather.
Yeah, that's the thing, and keep the lightning away. I think we would have been all right had it not been for the lightning in the area, but again, you can't be too cautious with these things. And the folks at Road America as well, looking after their employees, looking after the race fans. From the TV side, we got to look after our camera operators, who are very much exposed out around the track, and that's why they were down from their positions early and looking after their own safety, which is paramount, of course. And we got to make sure DJ finds some cover too down at the pits. Appreciate his hard work at the top end of the show to walk and talk and speak with so many of the protagonists in the series ahead of today's race. Pintos, Dennis, the top two. Curious how this will pan out, having not quite made it to the halfway mark before the red came out, but the clock continued to go, so might be in a position where full points could be paid. Yeah, we'll have to sift through all of that, but if so, this could be the long-awaited first win for Tommy Pintos and Cooper Broll. How about that?
There we go, yeah. My curse has not quite gone there then. So,
yeah, that was not the way they drew it up, I'm sure, but they'll take it.
A win's a win. What can you say?
No question. Congratulations to them, if indeed it does hold up to be an official race. That's something that will need to be clarified. But Pintos did his bit, and you know what? Credit to him, because he did not have the best of starts, did he? He dropped back to 5th in the opening lap and had to fight his way back to the front, and did it just in the nick of time, as it turns out.
Exactly. We didn't see what happened. We had the camera view going into turn 1, and he was leading in there. I can only assume he went wide or something there, but by the time he got down to turn 2, he was back in 5th. But did a superb job to come back through the field, then gain or build a 5.6 second lead. Which I then cursed with the safety car coming out. But yeah.
But maybe you uncursed it because of the lightning.
So he owes me.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough then. I'll
now,
take that.
It does seem a little bit unfortunate, though, and not at all poetic, that the car that has the lightning moniker did not benefit from the lightning whatsoever.
Yeah, they need to get some better alignment going on there, I think. But that team, they've had a bit of a trying weekend with both their cars, and they've all
RWE.
Yeah, they've worked their socks off to with the technical team from McLaren to get those cars where they need to be. Just talking to Casey earlier, he knew where he was at pace-wise, but I think him and James are a very strong pairing. So that's why in the second part of the race it would have been interesting to see James up against Cooper, but Cooper's lacking in experience, but he's come on a huge amount in this year, and if Tommy had that lead, what could have been. But as you say, they've got the win now, so we'll see if that sticks, what the point situation is, and whether the race is continued or rerun, or what might transpire. But it's definitely looking very dark out there now.
It did. It got dark very quickly, didn't it? And radar screens do look ominous as well, but looks like the race will not be resumed here today. Our hope is for clear weather tomorrow. We look forward to bringing that to you then, and we'll have an update for you as well about what the ultimate outcome is for today's race. Thanks so much for joining us, though. Thanks to DJ for his efforts in the pits. Thanks to Tom as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow for Race 2 of McLaren Trophy America. So long for now.